Hey folks, that State of the Union speech absolutely sucked. And I know I'm not talking about the politics, I'm talking about the content. Last year's speech was fairly well delivered. It wasn't a State of the Union, it was his first speech as president or whatever. Fairly well delivered, you know, it was entertaining. Last night's speech was just completely awful. Barely any content whatsoever. It was like, look at this hero, this person who did something really great. Look at this hero, they did something really, really great. Here are some economic statistics that are pretty debatable. Oh, and look at, here's another hero who did something really, really great. I mean, it was a lot of fluff. It was all icing and no cake. I mean, it was just lacking in content. It was just a lot of, you know, patriotic, heartstring plucking, very, very little content. I mean, there was a rant against North Korea, there was a rant about immigration, but other than that, it had nothing there. I mean, there was nothing there in this speech. There was a bunch of economic statistics that are widely debated, and there was a bunch of, you know, patriotic, you know, America, great, it was just lacking content. And I gotta say, you know, I mean, Trump probably doesn't care what I think. He doesn't really care what I think and what people like me think, sure. But at the same time, I gotta say, Trump's base was probably very, very disappointed in that. I mean, they probably thought, what the hell? I mean, other than that dig at Colin Kaepernick, this isn't the Trump that they voted for. They voted for this crass and loud and obscene guy who's always giving his opinions and is right-wing and, you know, insensitive. That's not who we saw. We just saw, you know, we saw a song and dance show without content. And it was really, I mean, it's not like any other president couldn't get up there and honor a bunch of people that did good things and tell a bunch of heart-plucking stories that have nothing to do with the presidency. This was a bad speech, folks. It was just bad. I mean, it was really, really bad. There are many things in the speech that were just completely off. So I gotta say, I was disappointed. I was tweeting all throughout that speech. I was waiting for him to get to something that would be worth tweeting about. It was really, really not good. This was bad television. This guy's a TV reality star. He can do better than this. Trump, you know, you're not going to please me politically. I don't align with you politically, but you could at least entertain me. You ruined my evening. And I want to also say, what was going on with that Democratic rebuttal? I mean, Joseph Kennedy III. Joseph Kennedy III. I mean, where did they find this guy? I mean, was that this was a screaming and yelling Black Lives Matter and transgender rights, and oh my God, it was like the Democrats decided to have a political rally. It was not the Democratic Party rebuttal, it was the Stop Trump movement rebuttal. I mean, they really fired it up, and they had this audience of people clapping. Usually the Democratic rebuttal is some guy, you know, sitting in front of a camera going, well, you know, the president is wrong on these key points. And this was like a rally they staged. And that was very, very odd. It was almost like it wasn't the Democratic rebuttal, but the rebuttal of, like, the protests against Donald Trump. That I thought was very, very interesting. And I must say that, you know, the Democratic rebuttal was something different. So what's going on here in American politics? Donald Trump gave a very long speech. Most State of the Union speeches in recent years have been much shorter than that. It was very long, but it lacked any really sufficient content. I mean, especially on foreign policy, there was barely anything. I mean, it was just bad. And then the Democratic rebuttal was a Stop Trump rally, you know, with Black Lives Matter, and he's gonna fight, and it's screaming, yelling, red-haired guy. I like screaming, yelling, red-haired guys. I admit they do have a soft place in my heart. But what was going on there? I don't get it. American politics is getting very, very, very weird. It's getting weird. American politics is getting strange. This is not the American politics I grew up with. You know, this is not Clinton and Bush and John McCain. This is a whole new era that we're living in.